Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001, but more importantly, we are booking the invasion angle. Now, don't read that promo to those of you who already are reading the promo. I'll get to it when I get to it. We do have a locker room incident I want to go over real quick. Chuck Palumbo was brought to the locker room court. He was being accused of boasting and having a cocky attitude, nerds and geeks. So Judge Rock sentenced him to remain silent for the rest of the show. Don't talk, buddy. Shut up, basically. And he was also, of course, the normal sentenced from The Rock. I'm starting to think Rock might be an alcoholic. Buy everyone drinks after the show. The Rock loves that so much. Let's go ahead and run the show right now. But before we go ahead and run the show, something big's happening in this episode. We are going to... You know what? Let me just show it. If you guys watched Monday Night Raw, you'll know that freaking Stephanie McMahon ruined our backstage by just getting everybody to hate China. And if you see right here, we have a backstage rating of 5%. So, although I really like the way I book this show, and I think, honestly, it'll be a good show, I'm very curious to see how it goes down with having such a toxic backstage rating, unfortunately. But let's just go ahead and run the show, shall we? So we're going to have a total of 2 pre-show matches. Our first pre-show match gets us a D rating. And a terrible pre-show match, Billy Kidman defeating K-Quick in 7 minutes and 12 seconds with the Shooting Star Press. Billy was off his game. Come on, Billy. I give you a win and you're off your game. Get over yourself. They both had an in-ring performance of a D, and K-Quick is the one making improvements here, out of curiosity. Now again, remember, the locker room definitely helps, or doesn't help, so. But, wow, K-Quick has star quality, but Billy Kidman doesn't? I'm having the wrong person lose. And then we move on to a D+. Now I'm definitely going to check the backstage rating or the dirt sheet for this, because well, then again, Gregory Helms is in this match, so who knows. But, I have a feeling that this match should have at least been like a C something. So we have a poor pre-show match, Dean Malenko and the Hardy Boys defeating Gregory Helms and the Natural Born Thrillers in 9 minutes and 55 seconds when Matt Hardy defeated Gregory Helms with the Twist of Fate. Everybody on the WWF side, I should say, Malenko and the Hardys had a C rating, whereas Palumbo and O'Hare had a C- and Gregory Helms was at a D. So, what? Tag experience? I guess because there's an actual tag team in there. Yeah, we'll see how the rest of the show goes, because Gregory Helms was in this. So let's go ahead and start off the show. Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We start off with an A rating, nerds and geeks. Hell yes. An A rating. Thursday Night Smackdown starts off with Stone Cold Steve Austin making his way down to the ring, while, of course, the announcers put over what happened on Raw between him and Triple H. Once in the ring, Stone Cold takes the mic and he says, "Now I'm sure y'all saw what happened on Raw." And then the crowd. I'm not going to say "and then the crowd" every time, just so you know. What? What happened on Raw? What? With Triple H? What? Bubba and the Steph? What? Damn it, shut up. This isn't about any of you, so stop trying to make it about you. What? Don't what me? What? You people are really starting to piss me off. Sit down and shut up. The WWF champion has something to say. Now, like I was saying, on Raw, in case you missed it, old Stone Cold sent Triple H into Stephanie McMahon, and because of that, Triple H isn't here tonight. He's back at home taking care of his weak, fragile wife. But Triple H, I know you're watching, or at least trying. I don't know how well it's going with all Stephanie's nagging and that huge nose of yours blocking the screen, but you can still listen. So listen to Stone Cold when I say, I'm sorry. Pull up this now. Get rid of the locker room thing as well. No, I am. I'm really sorry for what I did to Stephanie. I'm sorry that I didn't do it earlier. For months, I had to listen to her annoying, high-pitched, banshee-like voice of her constantly complaining about her family and this and that and this and that. Damn it, I'm sorry that I didn't get to hit her with the stunner, so maybe I'd wire her damn mouth shut. More importantly, Triple H, and Stone Cold means this one, I'm sorry that you married her, 'cause I may hate your damn ass, but but I bet life with her must be a living hell. Hell, living with any of the McMahons is probably a living hell. But, before he can finish going on with his promo, the countdown starts, nerds and geeks, and Chris Jericho's music hits as he makes his way out to the entryway, and he says, "Welcome everyone to Smackdown is Jericho." I don't know if he ever said that, but it's not Raw, so. And then Austin says, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Can't you see Stone Cold is out here trying to apologize?" Jericho says, and again, not going to keep repeating that. "No, I do see that, Austin. And despite the fact how we both have similar opinions on that filthy, dirty, disgusting, bottom-feeding trash bag hoe of a wife Triple H has. But I've got to say this, Austin. Would you please shut the hell up? You've got some nerve coming out here talking to your WWF champion that way." Jericho then responds, "I've got some nerve. Me? No, Austin, you see, you're the one who has some nerve. You've got the nerve to come out here and call yourself the WWF champion, but you've got no pride in the company you represent? We're at war. Don't you understand that? We're at war with WCW, and the guy at the top of the mountain is just watching the bloodshed, waiting to join the winning side at the end. You're the one who's got some nerve, Stone Cold. Instead of backing the company that aided you into becoming the household name that you are today, against the company that didn't see a damn thing in you, you think you'd be a little bit more appreciative. You know, Austin, you and I aren't so different. We both work for WCW, and at the end of the day, WCW didn't give a damn about us. But along comes the WWF and Vince McMahon, who saw something in both of us and gave us that opportunity that WCW wouldn't. I don't care about your feelings for Mr. McMahon. You would think you'd help defend the place you call home every week." Austin replies, "Why the hell would Stone Cold care about the WWF? Why the hell would Stone Cold Steve Austin care about the WCW? I don't give a damn about either of them. I don't give a damn about you, and I certainly don't give a damn about these people. The only thing Stone Cold gives a damn about is his wife, his pack of Steve wires sitting in the fridge at him for home, and this here WWF title that says I'm the best damn wrestler in the world." Jericho then goes, "Is that so? Well, Austin, I'm sure it's no secret that at SummerSlam, I challenge for the WCW World title. So, well, what I'm proposing, Austin, is how about you put your mouth where your money is? How about you give Chris Jericho a shot at that there WWF World Championship tonight here in the tri-state area, baby?" I believe we're in New Jersey, actually, but it says tri-state, so whatever. Austin then he just laughs hysterically, by the way, like, "Ah!" like that fake laugh Austin always did. He goes, "Why the hell would Stone Cold do that?" "Because if you don't, then you're a liar." "What?" "Yeah, you heard me. You're a liar. Because just a few seconds ago, you said that you were the best wrestler in the world. And if you really were the best wrestler ever, then you have no problem proving that tonight. Unless, of course, you're afraid or you'll be proven wrong. So let Stone Cold get this straight. You think that I need to prove myself to you? To me, to everyone in the back, and to these people?" Stone Cold then laughs hysterically again. He goes, "Didn't you hear Stone Cold when he said he doesn't give a damn what these people think?" And Jericho says, "I did, but you know, and I know that that's a lie too. You and I both know that you crave the approval of these people. You want the world to know just how good you are. So, are you going to, or excuse me, I skipped this part. So, are you? Or are you, like I said, afraid that I'll prove you wrong and go on to SummerSlam and end this war and unify that WWF title and the WCW World title and become the undisputed champion, baby?" And don't lie to yourself, Austin. You and I both know that it would kill you deep inside to see someone else unify those belts before you do. So how about tonight you put your money where your mouth is and you defend that title and prove to this crowd and prove to the world that you really are as good as you say you are. And then Austin just says, You know what, Jericho? Stone Cold's getting real tired of you running your mouth. Of course, I ran out of space, so I'm ad-libbing at this point. Practically, Austin just, gets a little angry, tells Jericho he's sick of him running his mouth, and says, you want this match so bad? You got it. But you're going to regret it, boy, pretty much saying that after tonight, you won't be able to make it to SummerSlam to face Booker T for the WCW Championship. And then that's that, nerds and geeks. We have our main event set for the night. Got our... It deserved better announcing, but what can you do? Got the show off to a strong start and got the angle, or this... The angle got the crowd hotter. That's what it says. This angle got the crowd hotter. So, any worker improvements? None at all. So, move on to the next segment. We just get a B-. Of course, Michael Cole and Paul Heyman, the Smackdown announcers, are putting over the fact that later on tonight, we will indeed see Stone Cold Steve Austin defend his WWF Championship against Chris Jericho. Will Chris Jericho be able to go on the SummerSlam as the WWF Champion and unify the WWF Championship with the WCW Championship? We'll find out later tonight. We then go to our next segment, that doesn't matter, which gets us a C rating. In a decent match, Lance Storm and Kanyon defeating Bradshaw and William Regal in 8 minutes and 8 seconds, when Lance Storm defeated Bradshaw with pinfall. And ignore this while using the ropes for a leverage. I'll explain basically what I have in store for this match in a second. Lance Storm was apparently the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Again, I know we're rated off popularity, but I have a hard time believing Lance Storm was struggling to keep up with everyone's in-ring performance tonight. Either way, though. Again, it could have something to do with the backstage. I have no idea. But Regal and Bradshaw had a performance of a C. Interesting enough here, though. Kanyon with a C+. The high. Wow, good for you. And Lance Storm had an in-ring performance of a D+. Again, hard time believing that. Apparently, this lost the Regal Lance Storm some heat, but that's okay. And Bradshaw and Kanyon storyline. So basically, this was just a kind of an answer to what happened on Raw, where Lance Storm took on Kanyon Lance Storm took on Bradshaw for Kanyon, and he got the victory after. Bradshaw got the victory after Regal hit Lance Storm with the power of the punch, and then Lance Storm gets the clothesline from hell off. So basically, the way I'd see it ending here is pretty much William Regal goes for the power of the punch on Lance Storm. I'd imagine Lance Storm ducking, and Regal clocks Bradshaw with the power of the punch. Lance Storm then hits a super kick, sending Regal out of the ring, covers him for the pin, 1, 2, 3, and gets the victory. And Lance Storm is improving in Rumble. One other thing that might have affected Lance Storm's rating here is I made this our Wild Brawl match of the night. I needed a Wild Brawl match, and I hadn't booked any match before this as one, so I figured this would probably be the best match to make it a Wild Brawl. Bradshaw was well suited. Apparently so was William Regal. I'm going to see if it says something like Lance Storm wasn't well suited for the match type. No, it doesn't say anything. So either way, not too bad though. Opening match here. We then go to a D-. And we have Jonathan Coachman. Coachman, he says, Jonathan Coachman here. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time is the #1 contender to the WWF Women's Championship, Lita. And then Lita walks into the shot, and Coachman goes, Lita, at SummerSlam, you'll challenge Chyna for the WWF Women's Championship. And many people see you as the underdog in this match, while even more are even doubting that you even have a chance again to beat Chyna, who a lot of people are saying is the most dominant woman in women's wrestling, or most dominant female in women's wrestling in WWF history. Do you have a response to any of this? Lita then responds, yeah, I've heard the whispers in the wind. I have a lot of doubters, and, that's okay. I've held the WWF Women's Championship once before, and I crave to have that title back around my waist. And all these doubters just add fuel to that fire, that passion that burns in my heart. We then hear a slow clap off the camera until Chyna walks into the shot, and she says, oh, Lita, aren't you so adorable? You actually think you have a chance, and that somehow your passion is going to overcome my pure strength. So let's get rid of all this extra stuff so we can get to our second promo in the notepad here. Chyna just says, you're just a Barbie doll for me to break, Lita. And Lita says, Chyna, you talk a big game, and let's be honest, if I'm such a cakewalk for you, then why wait till SummerSlam? Why have the WWF fans waste their money on what you say will be too easy? How about we quit waiting for SummerSlam and have our match tonight? China then laughs. She says, you know what? You're right. There is no reason for people to waste their money on a match that will last 5 seconds. Lita then says, good. After tonight, when I beat you and pull off the upset, you'll never want to show your face in the WWF again. China then says, honey, if you beat me, I'll never show my face in the WWF again. But let's be honest with ourselves, sweetheart. You beating me will never happen. And that sets up a women's title match tonight. It also cooled the crowd a little bit, but that's okay. We then go to a C+. Again, notice who they're with. Just want to say that. C+ as the Brothers of Destruction make their way down to the ring, while of course the announcers put over what happened on Raw between them and TNA. Once in the ring, The Undertaker takes a mic and he says, Test, Albert, now my brother and I have had just enough of you two. I'll give you credit when it's due. This past Monday you caught me and my brother off guard, but trust me when I say that won't happen again. You see, boys, we understand what you want. You want these tag team titles. But let me tell you what we want. You see, after that backstage attack on Raw, my brother and I, all we really want to do is fight. So why don't you get your asses out here and let's fight. But instead of Test and Albert coming out, the music of Jamie Noble hits, and out comes Noble and Just Incredible. And Jamie Noble says, did I hear that right? Oh my lord, my voice kind of cracked there. That Stone Cold promo hurt me earlier. Did I hear that right? Did you two say you want to fight? Well, we may not be no Test and Albert, but you two are looking at the future of the tag team division right here. You've got Mr. Incredible, Just Incredible, and then there's me, the baddest redneck in the WWF. And I can't think of a better way to stop me and Just Incredible on the right track than beating you two jabronis in the middle of this ring and then getting us a WWF tag team title match later on down the road or something. I don't know. Like I said, I have to ad-lib because everything got taken up, and even in here, now of course it's empty, but I ran out of space in there. I'd imagine The Undertaker being like, are you guys serious? Whatever, it's your guys' funeral. Come on. And that sets up our match. So Undertaker, of course, came off well. Jamie Noble looking dreadful as always, but that's to be expected. We then go on to said match, which gets us a C+. Probably Jamie Noble's best match so far. In an extremely short match, the Brothers of Destruction defeating Noble Incredible when Kane defeated Jamie Noble with the double choke slam. So, wow, double choke slam. That's a little overpowered, guys. 5 minutes and 2 seconds, how long it lasted, by the way. The performance of The Undertaker stood out as being good. Taker had a rating of a B+, while Kane was at a B. Noble was at a D, and Just Incredible at a D+. Kane is improving in Rumble, and Jamie Noble is improving in performance. Moving on after this match, though, we go on to another C+. Where the hell is Kane? Did I not put him on air? I probably forgot to put him on air. That's okay. The match is over, and immediately after the match is over, we see Test and Albert come running through the crowd. They pick up the tag team titles on their way into the ring, and they clock both The Undertaker and Kane from behind with the tag team titles. And I'd imagine them stomping on them a little bit before just standing on their chest, like, one boot on their chest, holding up the tag team titles in the air, sending even a further message to the Brothers of Destruction. We then go on to a D+, Nerds and Geeks, in a poor match. In a poor match, Lita, that's right, everybody, Lita defeats Chyna, gets the upset victory. I'd imagine with the twist of fate, but it doesn't say she has anything here. Beating Chyna in 7 minutes and 51 seconds with a pinfall. And Chyna had an in-ring performance of a C-. Lita with a D+. I know Chyna... Oh, look, Chyna's improving in technical. Not that that matters. I know Chyna was actually pretty upset with the fact that we were having Lita beat her. But, again, that doesn't really matter. But we'll see that at the end of this episode. So, yes, Lita is now a 2-time women's champion, thus ending that feud. We then go to a D+, which I really wish this would have done a little bit better. Really sucks, actually. Lita is celebrating her championship win with the crowd when out come the Natural Born Thrillers. Stacy Keibler is here, by the way, but she was rated on sex appeal, so I highly doubt she affected it too much. The Natural Born Thrillers, Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo, slide into the ring and they hit a sneak attack on Lita. The scumbags. They hit a sneak attack on Lita to send the message to the Hardy Boys. We see both Matt and Jeff start racing down to the ring, but not in time, not before the Natural Born Thrillers hit their respective finishing moves on her and leave the ring right before the Hardys, get in there to save Lita. And they go through the crowd, just pretty much sending a message. I'm a little upset with this. I thought this would have done a lot better, but again, Lita was based off overness, so that might have affected it as well. Let's see. Of course, the locker room morale. You gotta love that, right? So we then go on to our next segment, which is a C. And back from a commercial break, Kurt Angle is in the middle of the ring, and he says, since winning the United States Championship, I feel like I've become more prideful in this great country, which is why I want to have this title represent this country the right way. You see, since the birth, America has always been known as the land of opportunity, which is why starting tonight, this title is the title of opportunity. So if there is anyone brave enough to take my challenge tonight for this beautiful belt, come on out. And then we hear the music of Rikishi, who, of course, returned this past Monday Night Raw. He makes his way down to the ring, and we have our match, Kurt Angle versus Rikishi. Angle, of course, was off script because he always prefers to be off script, and he was working superb. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand, and Rikishi is improving in acting. So we go on to said match, which gets us a C+, and a decent match. Kurt Angle defeating Rikishi with the Angle Slam, making his first defense of his United States Championship. Angle was at a B, Rikishi was at a C, and no skill improvements to go on there. We then go on to a C. Kurt Angle was not off script on this one because mostly Chris Benoit sucks on the mic, and I'm not having him, go off script. So Kurt Angle, he's celebrating after a successful title defense, and he takes the mic and he says, "Woo! Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That right there is the reason why I'm better than Chris Benoit, and I always have been. And I would just like to thank my parents for always supporting me, my coach." But before he can go on, continuing with his speech that he's giving for no reason, overdoing it completely, we hear the music of Chris Benoit, and he makes his way down the entranceway, and he says, "Kurt, no offense to Rikishi, but how does you beating him mean you're better than me? Last time I checked, I've beaten you every time we faced off." And Angle laughs and he says, "Well, you see, Chris, I'm better than you because I'm the United States champion. I represent the greatest country in the world, and therefore that makes me the best wrestler in the world, thus making me better than you." Benoit then says, "Right. But I'm the champion of the rest of the world, and again, you've never beaten me." And then Angle says, "You know what, Chris? I'm sick of you rubbing that in my face. So why don't we settle this once and for all?" And Benoit says, "We already did. I've beaten you, Kurt. I'm not out here to settle some score. I'm not out here to set up another match down the line. I'm out here to tell you to keep my name out of your mouth. I've beaten you. It's over, Kurt. I've proven I'm better than you. You want a match against me? Too bad." And he just goes in the back pretty much while Kurt's just standing there kind of like, "Are you kidding me? What?" Unfortunately, this segment did lose heat on this rivalry. But again, don't read too much into it because of that whole locker room thing. So, fucking no. I'm not going back. But I messed up. There was supposed to be an angle before this. And I messed up, so that means that angle is going to hit. That means that angle is going to freaking make be the main event of the night, which just. Oh, that's so irritating. Whatever. So you get a B- here, and a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Chris Jericho in 13 minutes and 19 seconds by pinning him after hitting the Stone Cold Stunner. And we had a distraction from Booker T. I actually forgot I had a distraction from Booker T in this. But yeah, we have a distraction from Booker T. Austin making his second defense of his world title. So again, the way I'd like to imagine it happening, and now I remember why I had Booker T to distraction. I'd imagine Chris Jericho maybe getting it ready to lock in the walls of Jericho before he sees Booker T come running down the ramp and gets on the entry, not the entryway and the ramp, gets on the apron, which allows Jericho to, let go of the walls of Jericho and go after Booker T. But that was a long enough distraction for Austin to get back to his feet. And once Jericho turns around, Stone Cold Stunner, 1, 2, 3, Austin wins. Jericho had an in-ring performance of a B, Austin had an A, and apparently this lost us the heat in our Jericho Booker T storyline. Okay, so I see this was the angle that was supposed to be before the Austin match. So it's not going to be the main event. I just forgot to skip it forward another space. So let's imagine, nerds and geeks, let's imagine that this was before the Austin main event, shall we? So Ric Flair, oh, I said Ric Flair is backstage. So Kurt Angle is backstage. He's clearly frustrated after being embarrassed and declined another shot at Chris Benoit when he's approached by Ric Flair. And Angle says, "What do you want?" And Flair says, "Easy there, champ. I'm just here to talk." And then Angle responds, "Yeah, I bet you are." "Really, I am. Just hear me out, okay? You see, Kurt, you hold the WCW United States Championship. But in all honesty, it's a good look for you, and I couldn't imagine a better representative for that title. Now, of course, you are a WWF guy, but think of what you could accomplish with WCW." And then Angle says, "I see where this is going. I know what this is about. Sorry, but I'm not interested." And then Flair goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold on there, champ. Just hear me out. You and I both know that you're not appreciated here. We both know that the WWF does not appreciate you. You let the Nature Boy take you under his wing as his protege, and I promise you that I will take you to the top. What do you say?" And he puts his hand out to shake, and then Angle goes, "Well," and then Flair says, "You know what? Don't make that decision now. This is a big decision to make. Go home and think about it and get back to me, champ." And then Flair just walks away as the camera pans on Angle's face, just showing him thinking pretty much. So we did have both Kurt and Ric Flair improvise. They weren't scripted in this segment, which I trusted Ric Flair enough. But Rick is getting better at his gimmick, and Kurt improvised well throughout the segment, so there is that. So imagine, like I said, imagine this was before the Jericho match. So we press next segment, and we see Stone Cold versus Chris Jericho gets a B-. And then we go to our actual thing that closes off the show. B- to close off the show. The match is over. Austin, he's picked up his title. He has a beer. He's about to leave the ring when Booker T slides into the ring, and Austin and Book have a stare down for a few moments there. Quick little stare down. WWF champion, WCW champion, and each other's face until Austin just steps to the side and he just pretty much says, "Go out to Jericho. I don't care." And Booker T does just that. He starts beating down on Jericho, stomping on him. And then he eventually takes off his belt, not the title belt, but his belt that's just holding up his pants, and he starts just whipping Jericho with the belt and whipping him until he's just done, and he just stands, over him, holding up the WCW title to end off the show, while we see Stone Cold Steve Austin at the entryway just drinking his beer and watching it with a big smile on his face. Apparently Michael Cole's announcing was pretty weak, and the Angle got the crowd interested again, which, hey, that's pretty good, yeah? Booker T apparently performed poorly in this segment. Don't know how, but Austin did come across well, so that's awesome. And we end off the show. Let's see what we get. Hey, that's a B rating. I'm not too mad about that. It increased our popularity in 7 regions. A B rating? Hell yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a B rating. But before we end off this episode, I am going to do one more thing before we end this off. And I think we all know. Oh no, Jose Lothario is retiring. I don't know who that is. Hey, Trish Stratus was on the radio. Appeared on a popular radio show last night. One of the more interesting comments she made is that she loves working the opening match of a show. She said the crowds are always hot and ready to see some action. Well, you're not wrong, Trish. So let's go ahead. Oh boy, Kurt Angle has an opinion. Gregory Helms doesn't connect with the fans. You should probably write the kid off. Well, thanks, Kurt. Kurt Angle had an opinion, and we will take that in hand. So I don't have anything else really to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate forward to Sunday Night Heat, which is now being filmed on Wednesdays. We do have a locker room incident to start it off, too. Look at that backstage rating. Oh, my God. A locker room incident. Oh, Lord. We got a lot of them. Let's cover these before we end this off. All right. Charles Robinson failed to show up for a scheduled meeting with a road agent. As his employer, you have to choose how to deal with this. So Charles Robinson, he failed to show up to a scheduled meeting. I'm going to give him a stern warning, considering that, this isn't his first. He got the heat with the locker room, but this is his first, major thing, failing to meet with it. So we're going to give him a stern warning. Apparently nothing noteworthy has been handled with it. Next time I might fine your ass. I love you, little Nate. Stop. Got a Dean Malenko thing. What? Dean Malenko? That surprises the hell out of me. Apparently he's gotten heat with the rest of the locker room for his selfish behavior. So we're going to, I'm going to give him a stern warning. You know, tell him, like, you know what? We don't deal with this selfishness, okay, Dean Malenko? I almost call him Dean Ambrose. Nothing noteworthy happened from that as well. Incident involving Deborah and Rock? Hopefully it wasn't, you know, something happening. Okay, so Deborah was brought to the wrestler's court, accused of annoying everyone else with her constant boasting and cocky attitude. Rock found her guilty, sentenced her to remain silent for the rest of the night, and then buy drinks for everyone after the show. Oh boy. I don't know how that's going to go over with Stone Cold. At least her behavior has improved. Maybe Stone Cold was irritated too. Hey, thanks, Rock. Thanks for putting my wife in her place. Then we have one with Sean Stasiak. Stasiak was brought to the wrestling court, accused of not joining the rest of the locker room for a night out. Rock found him guilty, sentenced him to buy drinks for everybody. Stasiak improved his behavior. I still don't understand that. Look at that backstage rating. We have a 0 backstage rating now. So here we go, nerds and geeks. We are going to do a public firing of China. Yep, let's see what this does. Are you sure you wish to fire China? It will cost you. That's fine. We're going to publicly fire China. China now hates us. I kind of feel bad for doing this. Like I said, she just passed away. It's kind of horrible, but it's the game. So China hates us now. And also, Victoria doesn't like us either. She has a dislike relationship with us. Whatever. China has been fired. Look at that. Thank you so much. Now that China has been fired, nerds and geeks, we went from having a 0% to a 66%. Now, that's not a whole lot. But can we do another one? No, we're only actually able to do one. That's correct. But yeah, we can go to our roster now. And no more China. No more China. In fact, am I able to give everybody a bonus? Because we still have a lot of morale issues. So, can I do that right now, or is that only able to be done? Yeah, we can do that right now. Wait a minute. We're not giving them that much. We'll give everybody a nice $10,000 bonus, I think. Which is still a lot of money. Holy crap. Alright, well, we're going to do it either way. Let's give everybody a $10,000 bonus, and hopefully that'll help them out. $10,000. We have... Holy shit, dude. Look how much money that took from us. Yes! Let's look at the backstage now. Not a lot of people are angry. Even The Rock's not angry. Oh, yeah, he is. Still mad. Come on, Rock. Love me. Let's go to the backstage rating. Oh, my God. I'm such an idiot. 91. All right. Now that we have fixed everyone's issue, we have a 91 rating. Rock is still mad at us. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean... I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. All right, nerds and geeks, that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. And I will see you guys for Sunday Night Heat. So until then, have a wonderful day.